Right, well, good evening everybody.
Good evening, hello.
Now, you may notice that this is not John.
I'm not John. I can speak low, but I'm not John.
So this is my good friend, Bobbie.
Hello.
Who is a fellow music enthusiast and a composer, and generally a lovely person.
I paid her.
And she's going to have a very special announcement coming later on in this video, which is partly why she's here. But actually, what we've been doing is what we often do, is just play each other music.
Yes. And
there was a bit of a theme, I guess, in that we were kind of strings, soulful strings.
Yes, we were. We're listening.
Was the theme.
Yes.
So yeah, did I play the first track?
You played the first track.
I did.
So
okay.
Establishing.
Well.
Yeah.
I'm sure people will be very familiar with Songs of Innocence by David Axelrod, which Bobbie suddenly realised she did actually have.
I haven't played it in about 4 years.
No. Well, and this is the Record Store Day special reissue, 180 gram, nice big fat booklet, and an absolutely sensational album. We listened to a track called Holy Thursday, and just the sweeping strings and the funky rhythm section and all the kind of colour and musical, I don't know, goodness and beauty in this album. It's fantastic. Yeah.
Some wonderful orchestrations in that piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So that's how we started, and Bobbie followed that up.
I think because I wasn't as organised as Mr. Mark here, and my records are in a random order, but I think I followed it up with some Leon Hayward. I Want to Do Something Freaky to You, and it's been sampled by Dr. Dre, and I was really into hip hop, so that's how I got into this style of music, and I just love the strings. And it's
show the album, Bobbie. There you go.
Oh, so I'm new to this. and it's got a fat bass synth that I really like, and just some lush strings and doubled with flute that are just soaring over it. And I actually DJ'd and played this track, and it got a couple together on the dance floor. They were doing the most outrageous moves whilst I was playing.
And this album, show this album, Bob, because I actually thought it was the Dr. Dre album, but I was very confused when Snoop Dogg didn't appear.
But it's all the breaks.
The breaks, yeah. Dr. Breaks.
Yes, Dr. Breaks. Check it out.
Great.
I already have it.
So.
Followed up
with a track, the title track of this fantastic compilation, which is called Strange Games and Things. And as many of you will know who watch this channel, I'm a big fan of Barry White and Gene Page, their orchestration and their sound. And I have to say, Strange Games and Things is a fantastic example of the Barry White and Gene Page sound at its finest. Loads of tension, loads of lush strings, and a really sort of exciting funk groove. And I seem to remember that years ago, I think when Tim Westwood either had a show on Capitol or Kiss, he used to use this tune kind of as his theme tune. And also I seem to remember Cold Cut were very keen on this track as well. Yeah.
Lovely.
So,
and we were in synergy, because then I followed it up with some more Barry White. And can I just say how dapper and fine he's looking. I'm loving the regal hairstyle as well. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I played Midnight and You, again arranged by Gene Page even. And just a really beautiful
cover.
Yeah, and track, and again, it was really interesting to hear two Barry White songs in succession, and you can just hear the stamp, like the soaring strings. There's these kind of like these scoops in the strings that are kind of like a bit kind of schmaltzy in a cool way, and then the use of guitar, sparse but like very penetrating. Oh God, that sounds wrong, and just really lovely. And like what I like about Barry is that he's got this kind of schmaltzy side of him, but then there's this really like quite sensual yearning, more driven side to him as well, that I connect more to.
With the kind of tension in the music.
Especially Love Serenade. Listen, if you haven't heard Love Serenade, like for ages, it's just this groove where there's just hi-hats playing. I don't know how long you have to wait, maybe 5-10 minutes before the groove comes in. Go Barry.
And there is a lovely little, very simple octave guitar part, which reminded me of this track from the Stylistics. Payback is a Dog, which is an original Tom Bell and Kenny Gamble track, which has this fantastic coda, again with a little slide guitar motif that gets repeated, and again a lovely kind of tension thing going on. But yeah, I think, you know, we were just channeling lush soulful strings at this time, and again you know, Tom Bell, Linda Creed, fantastic producers, songwriters. All those early Stylistics albums that have their names on are really worth listening to, even though they have terrible covers.
And can I just like big up the vocalist of that as well, like the falsetto?
Yeah, who was he? He's Russell Tompkins Jr.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then I had to come back, didn't I?
Weird.
Hip wave.
Yeah.
So some beautiful arrangements by Mr. Rod Temperton, a Brit who, as we know, was poached by Quincy Jones and he worked for Michael Jackson. And wonderful soaring falsetto by Johnny Wilder Jr. And I played the start of a story. There we go. And again, like a very gentle kind of simmering piece, and then strings and beautiful wind saw, and wonderful interplay and dialogue between the two, and just a beautiful, well crafted track.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous, fantastic. Staying with beautiful vocals, but actually going for more of a baritone voice, we listened to a Charles Stepney production of the Dells Sing Dionne Warwick's Greatest Hits. And basically, lots of classic Burt Bacharach tunes on this album, but all given the Charles Stepney epic production
really
touch. Very epic, very epic, very big, very dynamic orchestration.
Dynamic contrast, like, you know, really quiet and then just explosive horns and brass.
So anybody who doesn't know Charles Stepney, I mean, there's lots of Charles Stepney productions. He did a lot of the early Earth, Wind and Fire, Rotary Connection. The next artist Bobbie is about to share is Charles Stepney produced.
Minnie Riperton. And Miss 4 octave Riperton. I played Le Fleur, The Flowers, and again, you could just, again, with that synergy or that succession of the orchestrations, you can again hear just, he's not afraid to really stamp his mark with the orchestrations, and it's, you know, really like fiery and passionate, and then I think at the beginning of the track as well, there's this quite intricate cello lines as well, and it's like, and whilst the vocal's happening, and you would think, oh, is that too much whilst the vocal line's happening, but it works. So nice.
Yeah, beautiful, absolute classic. We then step the tempo up with the title track from Chic's. Oh, it isn't the title track. Is it the title track? No, it's not. It's a track. It's the first track on side 1 of Chic's Real People, called Open Up, which is an instrumental track, but strings very prominent, a very funky string line actually, and fantastic interplay between the drums, the bass and the guitar. I mean, the power trio of Bernard Edwards, Nile Rodgers and Tony Thompson. Fantastic snare and bass drum sound on this. Yeah.
Nice. Then I followed that up with something Mark has never heard of, which was a big deal for me because he knows everything, but I know quite often. And it's by Mark James Kirkland, Hang On In There, and that's the name of the album, but also the track that I played was called Hang On In There. And it's kind of the era of like Marvin Gaye and that kind of social, like engaged, more like protest kind of sound. And it's been the track. There's the beginning of the opening strings have been sampled by a hip hop act called Ugly Duckling, and just really mesmeric bass line. Honestly, check it out if you don't know it.
And it's sort of like a slightly deeper Marvin Gaye style voice.
Yes.
But really, very, very soulful, and a track that really goes into some different places.
Yes.
So kind of quite reminiscent of the what's going on kind of period for me, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I'd never heard this guy. I'm excited. Yeah.
Lovely.
And so that actually did prompt me to play a track that Bobbie had never heard, which was off this CD that was released after Marvin Gaye died, the CD called Vulnerable. And this is the one where he sort of realised his dream of singing with an orchestra on jazz ballads and jazz standards, and we listened to a lovely version of The Shadow of Your Smile. And yeah, it was really quite beautiful. Yeah.
Honestly, it's like Marvin Gaye's voice is gorgeous anyway, as we all know, but then it's just surrounded, like engulfed in this velvety, pillowy, orchestral arrangement. It's just stupid. Check it out if you don't know. Oh, it's me. Right. I was so into Marvin. So I then followed him up with some Patrice Rushen, who I love. She's like one of my happy places. I like her because she's quite subtle, and the track I played is called Settle for My Love. A very kind of understated but pretty gentle track with like lots of sustained strings, this bass line, that kind of that mood. Yeah, it's just lovely, and just a really, I don't know, there's something about it that just over the years keeps calling me back. And just very, very gentle, understated string arrangements. But
I love that track, and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
So it was another one. But it did make me think of either Roy Ayers or Ramp, with that kind of sound, that kind of mellow soul sound, and
a bit of Minnie as well, because there's
bit of Minnie, yes,
of staccato backing vocals that jump in and out as well.
And it got me pulling the Roy Ayers album He's Coming, which has production or arrangement by Harry Whittaker, who's actually a fantastic keyboard player and a fantastic arranger. We haven't really mentioned him, but he's definitely in this canon. And we listened to the original version of Sweet Tears, which is also remade on the new Eurekan Soul album, but I think this is the version for me. This is such a great album. If you don't know it,
recommend it. And I finished with something completely different. A Birmingham band. I'm a Brummie, woo, and that's my West Midlands, I don't know, woo sound. And there's a band called Broadcast. They are no more, unfortunately. The lead singer Trish Keynes died whilst touring in Australia. But what I really like about this band, and I played the track Pendulum, is they're like absolutely nerdy about that 60s psychedelic sound, and to the amps, to the way that things were recorded. They were really just committed to making works of that era, if you like, but in the modern age. And it's quite a driving, quite a trippy piece, but there's a groove to it as well, and it's quite funky, so I recommend a listen to it. And a lot of killer tracks on the album as well, so have a listen.
Another new one on me. And to close this rather short session, but we did start quite late because it is a working day here in the UK, was Nick Drake's Brighter Later album, and a track which I heard on Desert Island Discs on Sunday. And it was Northern Sky, which is a classic. Joe Boyd production. Lovely Celeste playing by John Cale of the Velvet Underground. fact, and Dave Pegg from Fairport Convention on the bass. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know Nick Drake, you need to discover him. 3 absolute classic albums. Yeah, great. So
Lovely.
now it's the special announcement from Bobbie. Here we go.
Okay, I hope I make sense. So basically, as Mark earlier mentioned, I happen to work as a composer, and that's like a poncy way of saying I write music. But what I'm trying to do is, as part of my research degree, is collaboratively make music about different things. And I'm looking for collaborators from this wonderful vinyl community to support and work with me to write a piece of music that's inspired by music of this era of the 60s and 70s. And for people who are interested, you don't have to be nerdy, you don't have to play an instrument, nothing like that, but who know or are interested in songs which have orchestral arrangements, because what I wish to collaboratively do is make music with a similar sound palette. And in terms of what that means, it means that from now, or from September until say February, March time, we will meet up probably via like online. It could be through blogs, it could be through Skype or things like that, and we will collaboratively write a piece of music. Composition is basically a series of decisions, so it could be that we're talking about the sort of instrumentation we use. Do we use, how many strings do we use? Do we use bass guitar? Do we use double bass? And if you're musical, then you could send in sketches and ideas, and we could collaboratively do that. If you're not, please do not worry, because it's open to all. This is not about you having grade 8 piano. And I suppose for me, before creating a very fixed framework, it's for you guys to connect with me. You can do that from my website, which is Bobbie-Jane-Gardner.com. That's Bobbie Jane Gardner, Gardner.com. And once I know who's interested in collaborating with me, then we can look at what skills we have, and then we will kind of define the parameters collaboratively, and then set out how that goes. And then maybe between 5 and 6 sessions across this period, and then there'll be a performance. I'm based at Birmingham Conservatoire, where I'm doing a PhD, so we'll have access to amazing musicians to play this music that we're going to write together. And I hope this makes sense. I hope you're interested. Any questions, any concerns, please get in touch. But honestly, do not fear. You do not need to have any sort of musical background. Just a passion for music of this world and this sound world.
Fantastic. Yeah, what a gift, eh? Make music with Bobbie.
Please.
Yeah. So yeah, get in touch. Go to Bobbie's website.
Should we put a link at the bottom?
We'll put a link.
Yep.
Leave some comments. And yeah, she's serious about this. This is a real. This is no joke.
No, it's not a joke. And if you want to see previous work that I've done, I ran a citywide project where I got 40 community groups around the entire city of Birmingham to work collaboratively with 9 other composers to write music about where they lived and where they were working and created. And it was a 2-year project, and I got grannies, I got young mums, I got school kids, all collaboratively writing music with composers, and that culminated in July. And that project's called Forwards, and you can check it out at for-wards.co.uk to see what happened, see pictures, hear sounds, and hear about the process as well. So get involved, please.
Yeah, so come on, vinyl community.
Mark's
VC,
on board.
don't let us down. I am on board.
Mark's on board.
Yeah.
Yes. There's 2. Who's going to be the 3rd? Who's going to be the 4th?
Come and join us. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the summer. I'll probably see you later on in August.
Thank you.
And thank you to Bobbie for being a special guest here.
Thank you for listening.